Good morning and welcome to America's Home Cooking. I am making some Salisbury steaks. I haven't decided what kind of seasonings I'm going to put in them yet. But we are going to make a new scone today. After I'm done doing this video, I'm going to make some scones that I don't think you've ever had before. So they'll be a nice treat to go. And I'm going to serve them with these. I'm still in a dilemma over how I want to season this up. So let's get busy chopping. All right, as I'm talking to you, I'm starting to chop a red onion. I am looking into how to make luncheon meat. I've got a book that I want to get so I can make some simple ones. I'm not going to be elaborate. Good God, I couldn't possibly do that. But, because I don't have everything for that. But the thing is if I can make a turkey one and a chicken one and get away from those preservatives, because we do eat sandwiches in the summer and I'm going to cry for my onion. I am really running out of onions. I can't believe that. I look at the counter and I've only got 3 left. So, All right, so we put an onion in. Let's put some parsley in. How much? I have no idea. Some of these dishes I just learned by watching, you know? That can go there. So maybe by you seeing what I have here, it'll give you an idea of some of it. When I go to do the seasonings, I have you closer to my hand, you'll be able to see more of how I do it. Because one thing, some people cook and they don't give you the measurements and seasonings, and they just show you. They go, this much. And I used to sit there and go, I needed to know more in depth. And they said that's the only way I know how to do it. I said, well, okay, then I guess that's the way I'm going to have to learn. Okay, now these peppers are going bad, so we'll just cut off the bad. I'm not going to waste the whole thing. Now when you chop these peppers, please, please do not touch your face, your nose or anything, because they're very hot. Though I'm sure they've got peppers hotter than this. This is not a mild hot pepper. First time I had curry, my mother-in-law made it. Oh my God, it smelled so good. Now you have to realize where I grew up, my father, black pepper was the hottest that you give children, just black pepper, no curries or anything. My father would eat little peppers from the backyard, and he'd eat jalapeno, but we didn't eat it. We only had what I said was black pepper. So when I went and she made a curry, I had never smelled curry in my life, but food will get my nose going, and you know I'm going to sit there and check it out. Well, anyway, what she did was they passed the food around. I was sitting at the table. They had ginger beer. She made her ginger beer, and she sat there. She made dessert because she was happy to meet me. They had a hot sauce they were passing around. It smelled good, and Richard was on my left and Tony was on my right, and they bypassed me. I said, excuse me, can I have some of this? And Tony and Richard said, no, you really don't want this, okay? But it smells good. He said, yeah, it smells good, but you really don't want it. I there. We said our prayers, and then I sat there and took a mouthful. Oh my God, I was up off that. I left that table and I went to the kitchen sink. No, wait a minute. I had a bite. It was so hot. I turned red. I grabbed the ginger beer thinking that was going to help. That did not help. I ended up going to the kitchen sink. I only got one mouthful of that whole dinner. And I drank water from the faucet. They couldn't get it down my throat fast enough. Everybody started laughing. I was sweating. That was so hot. And she said, "But you're Italian." I said, "I know I am." And I'm crying. I'm still drinking. I mean, I didn't even use a glass. I just stuck my mouth on the faucet of the cold water, just trying to get the heat off of it, as the tears came down my eyes and all. And she said, I'm sorry, but you're Italian. Italians eat hot food." When my mouth finally cooled off, and I was near tears at that point, I said, "The only hot pepper I've ever had was a hot peppercorn." And that was it. My father didn't allow us to have hot peppers. And she said, "I am so sorry." So when dessert came by, you should have seen me. I was like this, picking it. I did not trust it after that meal. Oh my God. So I had peas and rice because there was no curry on it, and I could eat the vegetables. They weren't hot, but they bypassed the whole curry dish with me because I could not handle that heat. I had never had heat like that in my life. That was my introduction to curries and hot food. Spicy food is what I should call it. That's why I tell you when I say, please do not touch your face, do not do this, just to make sure that you're aware of it, that you don't get burnt. But that was my experience with hot peppers, my first time. And she told him, "You're going to have to train her." He said, "I know," and he did. He didn't tell me not to touch my face, and I itched, and I went like that, and I want you to know I was at the sink with water in my face, my head underneath, just running on my eyes, and my eyes burnt so bad. And then he said, "Look, when you're handling hot peppers, you cannot touch your face at all." I said, "For how long?" He said, "A couple of days." And my hands also burnt the first time I used it, which surprised me. But now I'm pretty good about it. Sometimes I do forget I'm handling hot peppers, but it was an experience. She said, "I would never have made that meal if I knew." Oh my God. I remember where I was sitting at the dining room table. I remember them where everybody sat, how good the food smelled. But by the time the dessert came, after I went through that experience, I was leery even about the dessert. How hot was that dessert going to be? And then she asked me, "Do you take coffee or tea?" I said, "I don't take either. I just have milk." And she was shocked. She said, "You've never had?" I said, "No, I don't. I don't like coffee or tea." So I had to learn to drink coffee and tea. First, I had to learn how to make it because I had never had it. I always had milk or water with my meals, or sodas, or juice. And to this day, I'm pretty much, that's what I'll have unless I'm having herbal teas. I'll have mushroom coffee because that's the only one I can drink because my body doesn't seem to like caffeine. But that was my experience. An experience that I never forgot. And she wasn't mean when she did it. She was very, very sorry that it had happened. And her sons, all of them were laughing, even Tony. And they said, "Can you imagine how hot it'd be if you had that hot sauce?" That was hot sauce you guys were passing around. Oh my God. How could you? So this hot pepper that I use, they put 2 or 3 in. I'm going, whoa. I couldn't handle that. I really could not. And now jalapeno peppers are nothing to me. It's just things that we learn through life. And Tony made sure that our sons knew curries when they were young. When we had a goldfish, well, our oldest son had a goldfish, and every time he made curry, he would spit stones if we didn't give him a piece of curry. He wanted the hot curry. He loved curry, believe it or not. And goldfish aren't supposed to like curry, but he did. He knew when we made curry. And he got angry. He would spit his stones at us. He'd actually come out of the water, spit the stones at us on the glass, and just have a tantrum. Once he got the curry, he'd go, and then he'd run around real quick in his tank, and then he'd come back and ask for more. How we thought he was crazy that he liked curry, but that's all right. If you like curry with Cheryl, we just had to chop it really, really fine so he could have it, and he'd get just a little, but he was happy. When people say, you can't do that to goldfish, you can't do this, you can't do that with dogs and cats, but with your pets and stuff. But some pets really, really like some things, and you can't stop them. I had grapefruit on the table with other fruit, and because we had gone shopping that day. Well, the next morning I was -4 grapefruit. Where are my grapefruit? No, we only had Tara and Angel. Angel was my cat, and Tara was Tony's dog, and she had eaten the grapefruit. She picked it up, and she went on the table, literally, and got the grape. We didn't give it to her. She ate it. Whatever she needed, she ate. She ate it. When she had, when she was having epileptic fits, her big thing is red grapes. You could buy green, red, and purple grapes, and the only grapes that she would eat would be the red grapes. She'd leave all the other grapes, but she would eat all of those. Every time we got grapes, this is what she did. She ate them, and then, you know, and when she had them, she didn't have any epileptic fits, so it was evident something in those grapes was something that she needed, and she had to eat. Let me get an egg and some seasonings, and we'll start putting this together. Oh, by the way, this was 1 1/4 pounds of ground meat. Okay, I'm back. We're going to have to chop up some ginger. You really don't have to peel it unless you really, really want to. I mean, the skin is so thin. But I'm not even going to bother with it. Because when I try peeling it, I just take too much of the ginger, gets thrown away. So unless it's absolutely necessary, I'll just dice it up and put it in here. And you can see the amount of ginger that I'm using. So and to the new subscribers, welcome aboard. I wish there was a way I could see your dishes. I'd love to see some of the dishes that you make and how they come out. But I just don't know if YouTube allows anything like that. So I just hope that everything goes well in the kitchen for you and your dishes come out delicious. You have to put some garlic in here too. We didn't finish chopping all the vegetables because I was putting some away. I could see that we were missing some. I guess 2 would be enough. One woman told me that she actually uses ginger in her rice when she makes rice all the time. I had never heard of that. That was new. So, like, you know, there's so many different ways, and because America is such a multicultural, you can imagine the dishes we'll be coming out with. They just never cease to amaze me. I just saw a beet soup, which I was watching, and I said, I didn't know all that went in there, you know. And I said, that looks like an interesting soup to have if it's done right. If you don't do it right, it's going to taste horrible. I know that. That's why. It just came across, so I spent I think it was 10 minutes watching them, how they put it together. And I said, oh God, that looks interesting. So maybe someday, I can't even find good cookbooks. I mean, you have to know what you're looking for. I found a book that shows me how to make luncheon meats. And I want to get that book, so I'll probably have to save money up so I can get that and get an idea. And I've got to buy the equipment. Like I got the stuff, I almost have everything to start making European sourdoughs. My ice trays are broken, so I need to buy some ice trays. Let me put these up, I'll be right back. You're gonna need some salt. I have to salt to taste on this. I know West Indians would probably put a lot more than I'm putting in. I'm gonna put in this much. That's it for me. Okay. Clove. This is the only way I could show you, so please understand. I just don't know any other way to do this. You see, giving you an idea. This is why I have so many seasonings, because it's very important. In some countries, they are very heavy-handed and they use a lot of seasonings. Now, whatever you put in coriander, you have to put equal amounts of cumin in. All right? Because you want it spicy. That's how much, you see? So cumin and coriander have to be the same equal amounts. That much I got down. That's all I really know about it, is they gotta be the equal amounts. Okay, that we know. This is why I ended up with a lot more seasonings than I normally have. My mother had a lot of seasonings for her, because most people just use salt and pepper. But my mother had a lot of seasonings, but she was from the 50s, only put a fourth of this and a fourth of that. And today, after I learned about that curries take a lot of seasonings, I had to change my perspective on seasonings and really get a lot. All right, you're going to need about this much allspice. Allspice and clove go excellent with curries. Okay, let's see. Now, I don't have a lot of tamarind. This is the last of my tamarind, but I would be going heavy-handed with my tamarind as well, but I'm only going to get what I have here. But I'd probably put more in. I have to buy that. Yeah, I'm putting everything over there where I know. Now, thyme, about that much. Now, to help the heat, I use another mustard, and my husband said it doesn't work. You need Coleman's mustard. And he always does it by a knife, like this much. Okay? Of course, he puts a lot more pepper in than I do, but I use the same amount and use less pepper for my throat. Because he put 3 of those big ones in. Man, all what you did was cry at the table. And he enjoyed it. And you're going to use curry powder. I have to buy some more curry powder now. You'll put about that much in. Now we're going to get an egg. We need a binder. I'm going to use the egg as the binder for this. Did I get black pepper out yet? No, haven't done that either. Then I'll get the black pepper. I forgot that. Huh? I thought I pulled that out. No, it's sitting right there where I left it. About so much. You can almost see it's almost the same amount of everything, but it's a little off. We're going to mix all of this together. My girlfriend said, I am going to buy you some cutting boards, Sandy. I can't take that cutting board. She's agreeing with you. Get rid of the cutting board. I said, I can't. Has sentimental meaning to me, for me. So she said, you can store it away. Okay. I'm just making sure it's very, very well mixed. I asked him, don't you want to add some bread? Something. He said, no. I said, okay. That's how he taught me. I think that's enough for 2 people. I know it's for more. More people could have this, but only 2 of us are eating today. My other son has to leave. I'm not going to have time to make it. He said, enjoy. Matter of fact, he should be leaving in about 18 minutes. So he's not having time for anything. Now see, if you add breadcrumbs or something to this, the flavors are going to... Oh, that's you, okay. The bird was doing something. It takes away from the flavor. This is why you have to be careful. But I think I might cover them with wheat germ just to help hold the flavor in so the meat doesn't burn. Oh, that one needs more. These are big. You can make them round if you wish. I'm not going to tell you you can't. You can. I need some more on this one. Yeah, that's more the size. I could make these smaller, but I said no. I want some good sized ones. So I get 4 big ones and the small one. And the small one I'll make round, just to be, you know, oddball out. So this is how many I got, and I think they look very, very nice. And we'll fry them up, but I am going to coat them with wheat germ this time so we can get this stuff, and I'll be back. Okay, I guess we're going to call these Tony's patties. This is the recipe he gave me. And I did get some wheat germ out right here. And I'm going to bread them in the wheat germ. So we have to wait for this to get hot. But like I said, I am going to bread these. Except I'm not using breadcrumbs, I am going to be using wheat germ, which I think will be nice. It'll be different. And it will get the B vitamins that we're looking for in our food to make sure we get those nutrients that we need. Because I'm always talking about nutrition and we want to stay as healthy as possible. I'm just breading them right now with the wheat germ, if you're wondering what I'm doing. I noticed they're having, they're talking about dog food, that having just dry food all the time, you wouldn't want it, neither would your dog, and that you should feed them foods like you eat. I made dog food. The only seasoning I ever used on it was salt. I had the salt to taste. But like, I had this big lobster pot, right? I think I made 50 pounds. I mean, that sucker was heavy. I always had to pick it up. And what I would do is put in 3 pounds of liver, 3 pounds of kidneys, and a package of, I don't remember how much the package was, of chicken gizzards. And then on top of that, I would throw in 6 pounds of chicken backs. And I would boil that and boil that and boil and boil and boil until it actually cooked down. And when it cooked down, I would scoop the meat out. And then I would dice that meat up. The chicken backs fell apart, so I didn't have to worry about them, but the liver and the kidneys had to be chopped up. They were beef. We chopped it up really, really fine, and then I threw it into the pot, and then whatever vegetables I found in the house, I would throw into that pot and cook it for about, until the vegetables started getting really soft. And then what I did was I pulled out 5 pounds of bulgur, and then I dumped the bulgur in, 5 pounds of it, and I would stir it around and then taste it for salt to my taste and add iodized salt to it. And this is what our dogs had. That was their dinner, plus the scraps, whatever came from our plate, unless it was pork bones, and we never gave them those. And during the week, I would give them bones with the bone marrow so they got their folic acid. And in the morning, in their dish, they got milk, beef blood, cod liver oil, and an egg beaten up. Our dogs were strong. They were. Man, if you're going to walk them on a leash, you better be a strong person. You know, they did not bend. They had their strength. And we had an Irish wolfhound, and she could jump to the second story windows in one leap. Now, our wine Marana used to love to climb brick walls. And we had an apartment building close next door to us at the side of the apartment building. She climbed it all the time. We had to get balls to knock her down. She loved to climb. The wolfhound, she was always jumping up to the second deck. Tara was an old girl by then, so she didn't do anything. She was the oldest of the lot. And my cat liked to climb fences. We had an encased porch, and if he wanted in, he climbed up and went, "Ah!" I said, dang, all our animals were very unique in their own right. They weren't ones to just sit around and do nothing. And then a squirrel adopted us, you know, she decided. So we bought her an apple once a week, and we had apples, but we got a smaller apple for her because she was little, right? She always took the biggest one. And I told her, you know you're being greedy, young lady. So we called her Lisa. And we just ended up with animals all over the place. But they're fun. They got their personalities, and boy, do they. I have this like on a medium, low medium, somewhere like that. But they smell good. And that's the whole thing. Like I told you, I used to walk home and know what everybody was going to have for dinner. They knew what we were going to have too. And at Halloween, they didn't buy candy. Some of the families actually made the candy for us. Those days are gone. It takes all the fun out of things. I was going to make candy when I first came up here, first Halloween for children, and my husband said, no, you can't do that. I said, what? He said people were putting blades and drugs and stuff into the candies. You have to buy the candies and they have to be sealed. And I said, you've got to be kidding me. I had to learn a whole different way how life is. Doesn't that look nice? Well, I'm going to continue frying these, and when I'm done, I'll be back. Oh, a note on these. The reason I didn't use kelp salt, it changes the flavor on it too much, the way they're made. I just use regular iodized salt to make sure that I get that curry flavor that I'm looking for. And here they are. They came out very, very nice.